this story seems to be the one that is never ending in terms of what happens with TikTok and what the next step may be. But what do you think of the judge going ahead and saying that this ban can't be put in place, issuing that injunction?
Well, I think this was a reasonable move, given that the original order felt a bit broad. But again, this is table stakes. The main event is what's happening over in a program called CFIUS, which has the authority to determine whether or not the transaction that ByteDance acquired U.S. assets several years ago can be invalidated. And so really all eyes are on CFIUS and the negotiations between Oracle, Walmart, ByteDance, and the U.S. government. And that's where we're going to see resolution of this matter.
You've served on CFIUS when you were in the White House under President Obama, correct?
That's right.
And how does that process work? Walk us through what would happen here. I know that they'd look at national security. CFIUS, how high is the bar, and what are the odds? How would you game it?
Well, right now, CFIUS's role is to protect national security effectively in mergers and acquisitions or investment matters. So think of it like one more step of due diligence in a deal between two private companies. If one of those companies happens to be foreign and they're making investments in a U.S.-based company, then there's an added level of due diligence. For the last decade or so, this has rarely been invoked as a mechanism to stall commerce. But of late, CFIUS has been awakened on a number of issues relating to China. Several years back, a health system, Patients Like Me, a kind of a portal for consumers to share their health information with their peers, was acquired by a Chinese-based company. That deal was overturned and actually unwound. That is obviously a very difficult, if you're a U.S.-based company taking investment, having that sort of extreme circumstance applied is a challenge. So it's got teeth. And Congress continues to authorize CFIUS expand its teeth. And on this case, there will be a pretty healthy percentage of probability that there'll be some resolution, a negotiated settlement to mitigate the security risks.
How would you vote if you were on that CFIUS board at this point? Is this a national security threat to have information on U.S. citizens stored in China, to have an app managing all of that, the algorithm based in China too? Is that national security threat?
Yeah, there are two threats. One is that data held by the American people unknowingly might be found into the hands of the Chinese government, can be used against us. And then there's also the training of the algorithms based on the data that it has access to that might be misused, maybe in election interference or some other matters of national security. So I do believe the threat is real, and it'll come down to mitigation. I've said on this show before, if we had a national privacy policy that had very clear rules of the road, what can an app do on my phone with my very sensitive data? Is it constrained? Or can it do whatever it wants with some very, very broad language in those user agreements that none of us ever read? Absent a national privacy policy, we're going to have these sort of one-by-one transactions, and it feels a little bit ham-handed. So my hope is with a national privacy policy, we'd have clear rules of the road that apps do have access to our sensitive data, but can only be used in context. And that would be a broader solution to this clear challenge. It's a mixture of security and privacy, in my view.